huge build-up. Scott, what have you made of it all?
I don't know, to be honest. As I said before, I'm not massively like a reflective person. So, I've stuck to a process that I've run through for a long period of time. And, if anything, it's a bit of a challenge for me this week to make sure I can, stick to that and, acknowledge the champions that turn up for this stuff today and, the occasion. But most importantly, I really want to get a win.
There's big questions about the manufactured way that you've got to hear and questions whether you should have played every game. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. We planned out from the start of the year sort of a schedule to manage me for the whole season. And I've spoken about this before, but, we've taken the long view of getting through the whole season. And, I certainly didn't plan to have an Achilles injury in round, I don't know what it was, 3 or 4, and then have to manage that all the way up until, even now. So, there was no chance. It was funny. I think I seen somewhere where it said I was moving well before the Hawthorn game. If you had seen my GPS and top speed, you probably would have run faster than me that day. So, yeah. Look, I'm comfortable with where it sits, and I'm really looking forward to Saturday.
How was that for you, Scott? When the last game was so close, I imagine you're a winner, you're being on the sidelines, I can't improve. How was that for you, knowing that you had this also to look forward to?
I wasn't thinking about this, to be honest, when I was sitting on the couch screaming at the TV. I thought we played really well on the weekend. I think the game shifted significantly when Steenie went down, and we had to shuffle the magnets, but the boys played really well, and I was proud of their effort.
How does the achievement resonate with you, particularly when you see past greats here as well that have also played 400 games?
Yeah, I think it starts to resonate or makes me reflect a little bit when you see the messages. And speaking to Boomer last week when he came into the club, just all those guys like champions of the game, probably sits uncomfortably with me that you're on that level with those sort of guys and just absolute legends. Because I think all of us at one stage were just that kid in the stand that used to come and watch these guys. And I often talk about when I get interviewed by, say, like a Gary Lyon, who was one of my favourite players growing up. And I remember just sitting in the stands. I'd only come to one game a year from the country. It was Collingwood, Melbourne. And I couldn't stand Collingwood. I loved Melbourne, loved Gaz, Jeff Farmer, Shane Woewode and guys like that. So I just try and reflect, we're all little kids inside that just loved the game. And I'm so fortunate to have played for as long as I have.
Are you more nervous this weekend because of the achievement?
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to get back to you after the game on that one. But I think I'll just be excited. And as I said, be a bit of a challenge probably to stick to what I always do. But I've got 2 kids at home that keep me pretty level and grounded and challenge me every night when it comes to bedtime.
What was the process of the gold jumper and how did it get to you?
Probably a question for the higher ups than me, how it all got ticked off and ratified, but I'm looking forward to wearing it.
You say you're not a reflective person, Scott. Do you feel like you want to almost force yourself at some point on Saturday when you're out here to soak it all in?
Yeah, I think one thing I've always done, I appreciate the game for what it is. So every week, regardless if it's this week or not, I always take a moment to look around at the stands, find my family, try and say g'day. And I always say to the young guys that ever play their first game, one bit of advice from me has got nothing to do with the game because you're good enough, but when you get out here for the first time, just look around, take a moment just to take it all in because it's pretty cool you're achieving your dream. So I still feel like that myself. I still feel like I'm achieving my dream every time I get to come out here. So I really want to take it in every time and come out. So there'll be a part where I come out here and I probably look lost and whatever, but I'll just be wandering and just taking it all in.
What was your goal when you started?
To get one game, the same as every player that plays, was to get one, then it was to get 2, and then it just snowballs from there. With when you start to feel comfortable at the level, what's your next goal, what's your next target, and I think for me it was play 1, play 2, get that snowball going, and then to establish myself at the level. And I remember Paul Rue's early days. He might have been coaching Sydney at the time. Spoke about he loved players that the gap between their best and their worst is really close, and Mick Malthouse was big on that as well. And that sort of resonated with me because I didn't want to be a guy that only played well when the side played well, and I didn't want to, perform poorly when the side performed poorly. So I wanted to be really consistent and level no matter what the game threw up.
Is that your trademark? We speak a lot about the game slowing down and your fancy footwork, but you haven't played too many bad ones in 432.
I'm not sure what sort of my trademark is. I think that's for other people to decide. But I remember Mick was quite funny back in the day. He sort of, he's really big on consistency, and if you could perform well in big games, that meant a lot to him. And I was scared of Mick for basically my whole career, so I really didn't want to let Mick down. And he was a fantastic coach.
Scott, every athlete talks about giving back to the game that's given them so much as a kid. What's the biggest thing that you've taken from the game across the journey?
I think just to stay consistent. It's it's such a tough game. Some years your side's going really well, some years it's not going your way. Even in seasons now, you can see like the ebb and flow of a season. I think inside clubs' four walls, you've just got to stay level, optimistic about what you can achieve, and it's a long season and a lot can happen.
How much is playing in front of huge crowds every week really brought the best out of you and meant that you could actually have such a long career as well?
Yeah, it's a funny one. I remember speaking to Eddie Maguire about this and sort of thanking him for what he's built at this football club. Like, if it wasn't for Ed and what he built, like guys like me don't get the opportunity to do. You asked me about playing in front of big crowds. Like that wasn't, I didn't get a say in that. Like I got drafted by the biggest club and the best club in the land because of what he built. So I've always been really appreciative of the fact that I was drafted into this club and I'm passing through, but I've got the opportunity to, probably overstayed my welcome a little bit, but I've had the opportunity to play in front of so many big crowds and big games, and that really fast tracks you. And I think a lot of our young kids appreciate that fact as well, that they get to play in these big games, and it really does fast track your development.
Scott,
Played in front of more than 90,000 24 times, with a 25th on the weekends. Do you normally get that stick? Do you still get nervous at all, or like how does it feel right now?
Yeah. I don't know if I get nervous. I just get excited. Like I think any time I get to play on this ground in front of the Collingwood Army, it just feels amazing, and they're just always so loud. So yeah, it's I don't have many games left, so I'm going to enjoy them while I can.
Speaking of the Army, in 2023, arguably the crowning achievement, I reckon you got the biggest role when the medals were handed out. How do you want to be remembered by the fact?
It's probably what I said before. Like I'm not sure how I want to be remembered. They'll all speak differently about what impact or legacy I left on them, but yeah, just someone that always played for the team and ultimately was a winner.
do you seriously think you'll play on next year?
I'm not sure. I think if my form's good enough and my body holds up, that's a discussion that I'll have later on in the season. But yeah, I feel good, and I'm almost over some niggles that I need to get over. But yeah, feeling good.
And after that, do you see yourself coaching?
We're trying to project the next 10 years of my life. I'm not sure. I love the game. I really do, and I love the coaching side of it. So we'll see where that lands in the near future.
You hit the record. Scott's still playing great footy, like 2 games ago, best on ground on Anzac Day. Does that give you a bit of pride that you're not just limping to the line, like you're moving through it?
As I said, I think my whole thing for me has always been about a process and sticking to that process and trying to help the team in any way I can. So yeah, I don't think I would have gone on this year at all if I didn't think I could contribute. So there's still that, I'm an athlete. There's that, true self-confidence that I've got that I can perform, and I'm looking forward to getting out there Saturday.
That love of the process, the 1% is the preparation. Do you think that's what has ultimately allowed you to get here?
Yeah, well, I don't think if you can't embrace that, all the stuff throughout the week, the easy part's coming out and playing, because who wouldn't love this? But the hard part's in October, when footy's still 6 months away. Can you get up and do the work? So I still love doing that sort of stuff, and that hasn't left me.
I imagine you've put thousands of hours into your body over the journey. How much has it been that, and how much has it been luck that you got to this stage without any major injuries?
Yeah, it's probably a bit of both. When you say like no major injuries, if I listed them off, you'd be surprised. I've broken both legs twice. I've had a shoulder reco, fractured my jaw, broken my nose probably 6 times. So like there's injuries for sure. But yeah, luck, mum and dad, good genetics, and a good club and a good management program.
What's the best bit of advice you've been given since 06?
Since 06. I don't know. Can I get back to you? I don't want to say something that's not true.
And I think this whole field is happy with your longevity, particularly in the latter stage when they got into your cycling and the pendulum motion and stuff.
Well, I don't know, but I do really enjoy road cycling. So I went the other day for a good ride on Friday in the sun, and but I love sort of learning from other athletes as well about the recovery side of the game, and ice bar, sauna, whatever it is. It's worth having a crack at if you feel better.
When will you make a call on your future? Is that after round 24?
I'll let you know first, Tommy. All right, you can have the scoop, but I'm not too sure, to be honest. We'll see how we go.
Confident the Pies are still contenders after Friday night?
Yes, I am. I'm really confident that we can contend. We've taken it up to a lot of the best sides. I think Fremantle lost by 4 points or whatever at Hawthorn a draw, Sydney a goal. I think Geelong were the side that we've played this year that were clearly the benchmark. Like playing them was a bit of a surprise with how advanced they were and how slick and quick they were. So, and then we seen it again on the weekend when they played Brisbane. They brought that to life as well. So, but it's a long season. There's still a lot of time to go. So, but yeah, really confident we'll be okay.
Do you ever still think about what might have happened if you down the basketball park?
No.
Well, Scott, knowing you fairly well, you like to relatively fly under the radar, so I imagine this week's going to sit a little bit outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, just a little bit. We're on the time clock, but no, it's something that I'll embrace, and my family and the kids are really excited for as well.
Yep. You did actually send me that message as well to keep it short and sharp, but I've ignored that, and we're going to have a bit of fun. While this moment is about you and you breaking the record, in a way it's also as much about the game, and Barry reeled off some stats, 13,000 players across 130 years. How have you reflected on the significance of this moment?
Yeah, it's probably a tricky one. I'm not an overly reflective person, but obviously you see all the numbers come up and what Barry spoke about before. But I probably use this week for me to thank a lot of people that have helped me get here, because without those people, I'm not sitting here. So in my own way, quietly, I'm flicking messages out to people and just trying to go through the list and get around them and let them know what they've meant to me.
What about the texts coming in? Have you got any that you've stopped and thought, oh, wow, that's pretty cool?
I laugh at the people asking for a couple of tickets. That was sorted a while ago. But yeah, just the list of people that, I don't want to name names because I'll forget someone, but the list of people asking, saying, well done and we've admired you or whatever it is on your journey has been really cool.
There's going to be so many special moments out here on Saturday, and one of them will be if you kick a goal. Have Jackson Darcy put in the goal celebration request for the week?
They're thinking about it at the moment. They had nothing. They're actually big Michael Jackson fans, so we went and watched the movie yesterday, and we'll have something to do with that. Better not be a moonwalk, because I'm not sure how I can do those in my boots, but I'll wait to see what they come up with.
There's a bit of pressure on them because that sort of footage we'll be watching for decades to come, so tell them they need to nail it. We got a bit of a taste of the Pendles chant on Anzac Day. On Saturday, you'll have close to 100,000 people rolling out the Pendles chant. That's going to be pretty special for your family to be sitting in the stands here amongst that.
Yeah, it will be. It's a bit of pressure on me to get a kick, though, isn't it, during the day? So, no, I'm looking forward to the day. I'm honestly looking forward to the game itself as well, just to get out there and play in front of the members, in front of the Magpie Army, which will be a really cool experience. And, just looking forward to embracing the whole week.
It's a rare moment that Collingwood Football Club players will get cheered on by opposition fans, so you should savour this moment on Saturday. Jax's favourite player is Geordie. He's been really open about that. Do you get a look in when you become the record holder for the AFL? Do you get a look in as his favourite player?
Yeah, I'm hoping he puts the number 10 on his back when he runs out, but I've always said it's up to him. He can pick what he wears, but it's often been the number 2 that he puts on his back, which is great because Jax and Geordie do have a good relationship, and often in the hub, Geordie was one of those guys that would come over to our place and grab Jax and take him for a walk or for a bike ride. So they do have a good bond, and I'm going to have to convince him to wear the 10, otherwise he can eat vegetables all week.
Surely a gold number 10 gets it done. So many amazing people coming on Saturday. You've got 100 family and friends coming. You've got premiership teammates, coaches, and you've got your under-10s. Is it under-10s basketball team that you coach?
Yeah, my under-10 boys. They're going to be here as well.
Will they give you some feedback on your performance?
I'll actually have training for them tonight as well. So, yeah, they give me feedback every week. They certainly let me know all the negative stuff that I've done in my game, and they're actually really good sportsmen. So it's quite funny. I know I'm walking in the first 5 minutes of basketball to just cop a barrage about what I didn't do, and then I realise that I'm the coach and make them run suicides or something.
Speaking of the kids, I think it's pretty true to say that there's 2 phases of Pendles. There's the before kids and the after kids, and they've really brought some balance to your life. Do you think that's played into the longevity, your ability to be in the game for so long, having the kids and that balance that they've brought?
Well, it didn't help my sleep having kids, so I'm not sure that's great for recovery. But no, it definitely did. I think it just brought a bit of balance to my life, and everything was football related, everything I did, and I've got a good switch when I'm on and I need to be on and work, and then I've also got a great switch when I'm off and around the kids and having fun and just being their dad, which is the most important thing.
Now, Howie and Sidey are the official chairlifters for your milestone games. What sort of instructions have you given them for Saturday?
I haven't really spoke to them about anything. I'm surprised Chris Main's not going to try and get back. He told me he had some sort of record for carrying off the most 300 game players. So, but yeah, I'm not too sure. As long as they don't drop me, it'll be all good.
When you're sitting back on Saturday night with Al and you're enjoying a drop of your wine, what do you think the emotions will be then?
I don't know, to be honest. There'll be a range of emotions. Probably one will be, glad that it's over. 2 is I hope we've won. And 3, I hope it's a big wine glass.
I'm sure it will be, and you deserve it. Thank you so much for giving us your time here this afternoon. Enjoy everything the week brings for you and for Al and the kids. It's an amazing achievement. It's an absolute privilege for all of us to be part of. Please put your hands together for Scott Pendlebury.
Pendlebury goes in and kicks the goal. He's a pretty good finisher, Pendlebury. Yes!